Hi, welcome to 2025. The Let 'Em Go Barefoot podcast is kicking off the year with not one, but two wonderful returning guests. Nicky and Davone Prince, also known on Instagram as the Prince Family Travel, are back to share what they have been up to since their first podcast, episode 19, aired over 2 years ago. What I enjoy so much about Nicky and Davone is their infectious zeal for life. It's simply impossible not to feel energized and positive after spending time in their orbit, whether online or in person, which my daughter and I got to do this summer. We finally wrapped our arms around them, took a tour on their impressive bus home, visited a farmer's market together where we had the absolute best peaches and locally made kombucha, played at a park, and made a promise to catch up for a second episode. If there's one thing I love about social media and podcasting, it's that they can be great vehicles for connection and a way to share uplifting and inspiring stories. Nicky and Davone meet both of those criteria, and I'm grateful to share this fun-loving and free-spirited conversation with you. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Let 'Em Go Barefoot podcast. Tonight, this is a nighttime recording. I'm speaking to Nicky and Davone Prince of the Prince Family Travels. And I'm so excited to bring them back on for the second time. It's been 2 years since we talked. And well, we've talked since then and seen each other in person, but for the podcast, we talked 2 years ago. And at that time, they had a brand new baby. And they were actually, at what point were you guys on your travels? Like what state had y'all, what number had you been to?
It's awesome. I think we were at state 8, but I believe at that point, what was it, 8?
I want to say it was maybe 8.
And we were getting ready. We hadn't got back on the road because we stopped to give birth.
Right.
And at the time of the pod, at the time of the last podcast, she must have been about
Peace was about
5.
3. She was some months.
Yeah,
She
maybe
was
3 or 4
little.
months.
She was a tiny thing.
Yeah,
She
maybe 3
was,
or 4 months.
yeah, actually November. She was born July. So, but we were right.
Yeah, 3 or
So
4 months. Right. So yeah, we were still in Georgia, hanging out, getting ready to get back on the road.
right.
Right. Okay. And since then, you have hit the road running, and you're now at what, state 28?
28. Yes.
Woo! Gosh. Yes. Yes. Okay. So let's catch up. We've got a lot to catch up on.
Yes.
And I'm excited to hear about life with a toddler now, and still homeschooling and still road schooling and traveling and
That's right.
soaking it all in. So welcome, and just give us a little, catch us up.
Enjoying every second. Also, it's been wild, but it's been so much fun.
So I guess we could take off right there. After your podcast, we pretty much got back on the road.
Saw some more family in Georgia, and then went our route kind of going back to Colorado where we left off in the RV.
So the baby could catch back up so she could, get her states covered as well.
Right. We don't want to leave her out.
Yeah, no family member left behind here, okay?
So we did our kind of same route. So we did Alabama, Louisiana, and everything. Shout out to our friends in Alabama.
Alabama was awesome. We did Mardi Gras in Alabama.
Yeah, so Mardi Gras, apparently, if you go to Mobile, Alabama, they will tell you that it actually started there, not New Orleans. So that was really interesting.
Yeah,
right.
I've never heard that before.
We hadn't either.
And we had an awesome time. I mean, the spirit, the culture, the people were definitely festive and alive.
Oh my goodness, it was an experience. It was so fun, and I'm I don't know if this ages me, but I just thought a Mardi Gras parade, they just throw beads. I literally thought it was just beads.
No, they throw everything.
We were getting hit with ramen noodles.
Oh, and why is that?
Hula hoops, they were throwing out all kinds of stuff. So that was fun.
So is that because they just want to throw anything? People just pick up whatever they have to throw?
They're in floats, and they're, throwing things. They're playing music. It's marching bands.
It's a lot of marketing though too, because it's cups from businesses and wristbands and things. It's a lot of it's a lot of fun, but it is at the core of it a lot of advertisement.
Yeah, for sure.
If you bring in a toddler, bring your earplugs.
Right.
It's
loud.
Yes,
and it was very loud.
And that happened, did you say last year?
No, that was...
So that was...
Yeah. Oh, that's
Mardi
a great
Gras.
question. That was Mardi Gras.
So that would
See, I didn't
probably
write dates on this now.
but I guess it would be would it have been a
This
March
right.
23?
Yeah, I was gonna say it had to have been
It
around
was
February,
23.
March
Yeah,
of
23.
2023.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
hmm
Okay.
And so right, because then we made it to Colorado for our niece's birthday party, and that's like March, end of March or April. We actually have a niece named Sadie. Shout out to Sadie.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were
wow.
Yeah.
in
And of course I'm running a blank. I don't know if it's March or April, but we made it back to Colorado by April of 2023.
Okay.
in Colorado is still, as far as beauty, guys.
Yeah.
It's in the top 3.
It's in the
I'll say
top
it's in the top
3, and I'd
3.
say it's not 3.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. So now that we're saying that, like what are your other two?
Maine. Maine is
Maine is
definitely
definitely shot up to the top
for me.
sure.
And right, this third one is
ah.
kind of tough.
You know, I said that not even just having the 3 off top, because
Right. Well,
it definitely changes, because it honestly,
well, I know what I would put. Well, I guess it would be a tie between
California.
California and New Mexico.
Yeah, I'm about to say California. Yep, that's exactly what I
That
was
would be a
thinking about.
tie for the third.
Yeah, for now. Because we haven't explored all of
we
California.
didn't explore all of California.
And we're going back. We're going back.
So
to
because
Cali.
so when we get to the end of this kind of conversation, you'll see. I guess. Well, I can't say we left off in California. Never mind. That's not true. Okay, sorry. So we're in Colorado, and we're still got a newborn. We're still we're on a bus. We're baby led weaning. Everything's a mess.
Oh,
We're
yes.
struggling down these like terrible Colorado roads. New Mexico roads are terrible. The roads in the United States,
Yeah.
our taxpayer dollars are not going to the roads. Just know that. Just if anybody in any state like wants
Yeah.
to be like, oh, I'm gonna move somewhere that has better roads, there's not one. We haven't found it yet.
Yeah, the roads can be a bit
Florida's
bumpy at times.
roads are
Really?
not bad, but their infrastructure is the worst.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like it's still not fun to drive on it because it's
not the worst.
The traffic is immense and the infrastructure is terrible.
Well, there's a joke between North and South Carolina about our roads. Like, you're in South Carolina because you cross that line, and their roads are apparently really terrible, and you hit potholes everywhere. But I know
everywhere.
It's the exact same.
Yeah, you can
It's
just
the exact same thing.
Yeah.
In North Carolina.
Vermont was also really, really bad with potholes.
Yeah.
So that was that. Colorado.
All right.
We went to the what was it? The Glenwood Hot Springs was the what?
Glenwood Hot Springs is also in Colorado. Yeah, we did a lot in Colorado.
That was like the largest hot springs pool in the United States. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I'd
Wow,
recommend people
okay.
try that out. Actually.
Yeah, that was actually a lot of fun. It was super cool.
Still,
Well, this would be a good time to insert that you have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
That has
yeah, because we didn't
talk.
That's a great insert, because we didn't have a YouTube channel the last
No.
time we had a podcast. So if you guys want to go ahead and subscribe, it's Prince
That's
Family
right.
Travel on YouTube.
Yes, and we just made it 1,000 subscribers.
Yes, we
Woo-hoo!
just made it.
Yay, good.
Yes, and we just did a video kind of celebrating our 1,000 subscribers. That should drop
today or tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
I mean tomorrow or Wednesday. Sorry. What
Yeah.
am I talking about?
So that'd be awesome.
That's great. Well, and in the vein of homeschooling and self-directed education, which I know you both appreciate and enjoy and do in your own family, how has this experience taught you things that you didn't even know you were wanting to learn? Like this whole YouTube thing. I know when we saw each other over the summer, I asked you about that because it was something that you were interested in, Davone, and you just learned as you were doing it. Is that fair to say?
Right. Yeah. Yes. That's exactly what happened. Taught me things that I didn't know. A lot of it, I want to say honestly, is teaching me things that I feel like I know I wanted to learn. Honestly, and also a lot of it has been pushing me to do things that I know I wanted to do and also already do, for example, interactions with people. A lot of our subscribers are just me and Nikki going up to people saying, "Hey, we got a YouTube. This is what we do." Just getting into an honest dialogue with
right,
people.
or like we're very open energy people, and so like if somebody comes up, like we just have conversations with people. We don't like to say strangers because they're not strange to
No,
Mhm.
us,
no strangers.
but like, and we'll have like a 30-45 minute conversation with people that we just met, and like, we're like, subscribe to our YouTube, and and so like it's a lot of it has been very organic, but
Yeah,
like
and then the same for like learning, like on the back end of like editing, just learning like more of your learning style, like what videos help me learn how
Mhm.
to get better.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's just been a very, very fun journey, and we're kind of bouncing off of each other, like learning how we work best
To get
together in the
yeah.
back end as well. Like who is better editing this part of the video, who's better at
Editing,
doing the
yeah.
text. Yeah, so that's been a fun journey as
Yeah.
well.
And it's funny to like bring it full circle, back into like, self-directed learning. And I feel like I'm sure you feel this way too, babe, but like it's kind of like coming back to like our childlike creative selves,
Yeah.
Yep,
because we get to
I
really
really
express
do
the
feel that
things
way.
that we love. Like, even okay, so every week we do movie night, and we've been trying to like get the kids on the classics. And so the other night
Gotta watch the
we
classics.
watched Richie Rich, which, oh my gosh, just love Richie Rich. And like we like
Wait, have you seen
Are you
Richie
talking about the
Rich?
original one with the
with
Well,
Macaulay
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Culkin.
yeah. That was a long
yeah,
Yes,
time ago.
okay,
Yes,
okay.
I would not be able to
yeah,
remember it, but
Right.
yes.
but it
Right.
is a classic
Well,
for
it's
me.
funny to think about because, well, I don't know, right? Like you wouldn't have watched it as a kid, but you might have watched it when you're but it
With
would have been
him,
already,
maybe.
like, I
Yeah,
don't know,
don't
yeah.
know.
It'd be interesting because we watched it as like children,
Children,
Yeah.
children.
yeah.
But anyways, it's an amazing movie, right? And so, but in that movie, me and Bay would stop and be like, "Oh, like, yeah, this is kind of like the type of edit like we liked as a kid, or like the things that you just like notice about like the movie, or like these are the things that we were into, and you can just like see how we express it in our life." And it's just, I don't know, it's all just like full circle of like, right? No, we're coming back to our childlike, curious selves,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
it's fun,
it's a
like.
very curious moment. That's a good way to put it. It's a very curious
And a lot of just
days.
learning that just happens in real time, right?
Mhm.
Because where else, like, do you really have to apply the information until it's just like right there, like,
Yeah.
so
Right. Well, and you're also, I think, modeling how to continue to learn and to love learning for your children. And, because
oh yeah, and that's the
yeah,
biggest thing,
sometimes our
right?
kids look at the parents and think that they have all the information, even though we've never really necessarily fed that to them. But that's just the way it is when we're kids, right? You think your parents know everything. I'll never forget the first time being in the car with my
Right.
mom and she didn't know where we were going. And I thought the world was falling apart because I was like, wait, what? You don't you don't
Oh my
know where we're
gosh.
going? Like, that's not
That's
supposed to
hilarious.
happen. Um,
Right,
so for our
right.
kids to be able to see that, hey, we
Right.
don't know everything and we're learning just as much as you are, but in a different way and for a different reason. I think that's really
Right.
powerful for them to
Right.
watch.
Seriously, and speaking of powerful, so in Colorado, we had a very bad oil leak. And we have to fix this
Mhm.
because this is a diesel engine. We're up like going like, I think the highest we got up to was like 14,000 feet. And
Wow.
yeah, it was intense, but it was, I mean, we're going to do it. We're going to figure out how to get this, done. But at some point we're like, okay, this has to get fixed. So we found a dealership, basically international, and they pretty much, we
Work
had
on it.
been driving around, so it was like a lot of like, just like it looked like it was worse than what it was. But I was like, "Sir, I can get under this bus with you and show you exactly where it's leaking." Of course, for liability issues, they weren't going to do that. So they were like, "Okay, but just for us to take apart your engine to see where it's leaking," they were like, "It's going to cost you like a couple $1,000 just to do that." And then it looks like, based on how much oil's there, it's probably gonna be like $9,000 to $15,000 to fix. And I was like, "Sir, it's not that
Yeah.
serious. I promise you."
So now,
So
so now, so
now,
now our kids have to watch us. No, we don't know what we're doing, but Zoe watched us. Watch the video. Mom found the part for like $35,
Oh my
much
gosh.
right? I
cheaper
was
than
like, "We are
15,000. And we stood in the parking lot for
of
about
AutoZone for like
30 hours,
two nights."
maybe.
Well,
Yeah,
right.
something like
It was
that.
a night and a day, pretty
Yeah,
much.
and got
And
it
we
fixed.
worked to fix that darn thing that
Yeah.
I knew what it
Wow.
was, and we fixed it. And Yeah, I mean, we right, because
Life lesson.
$15,000, bus life would have been over.
Oh my! Did you go
Yeah,
back to them and
but
tell them what you did?
no,
No, we
no,
don't
we
like to
didn't.
brag, but
Yeah.
we did what we did. And at this point, Peace was still just like, I think we were switching on and off. Like he would be under the car because the biggest thing is like when you're doing any kind of car repair is getting off a bolt, getting
Mm.
off something. Like that's the biggest part of a car repair. Like you could be doing that for hours. So he would be under there, I would be under there, and we would just switch off and like put Peace in like the baby carrier
Yeah.
and be like, okay, who's less oily? And be like, okay, you take the baby. And then like when Prince had to cook, because he still had to cook, because I'm not the chef of the family, you just like have to like wash up and just
That's
But we
wild.
got it done.
I feel
So
like
It's
y'all
nice
did.
for the kids to see
I'm
it.
sorry. Say that again, Davon.
No, but it's nice for the kids to see the challenges for sure.
and us to always persevere and still be
Mhm.
happy about it, because it's like, I mean, come on,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Right.
We're
Right.
in Colorado. Do you see these mountains? It's beautiful.
I
Like,
know. It is
I don't
such a
mind being
choice,
broken down
isn't
out
it?
here.
It's such a choice to see it in
Yeah,
one way over another. And you're right,
For
to be able to
sure.
stop and say, okay, this really is difficult and challenging and we don't like how it feels, but look around. Where are we?
right.
And
Mhm.
take in the scenery.
Mhm.
Seriously.
Well, yeah, you've seen some amazing scenery, no doubt. And I was following your adventures in Maine because I've never been there and I always wanted to go. So now you've put it back in my brain about a place I have to put on my list.
Mhm.
You gotta
Yeah.
go. You have
So,
to. You gotta go.
what state was that for you? Was that your halfway mark?
Maine
No.
was no, I think.
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, I wish I had more of these notes written
No,
down
I'm
for
sorry.
I
you.
believe honestly, I believe
No,
Maine was
I feel like Massachusetts was 25.
Massachusetts. Okay.
So
So
then
Maine was 27.
27.
Okay.
Maine was 26. Because then we did Vermont, and then
we did New Hampshire.
No,
No, Maine was 27.
oh yeah,
And
and
then
then Vermont was 28.
Yeah, Vermont was 28. Yep,
Yeah,
Maine was
so Maine
27.
was
Okay.
27.
Yep, we did Vermont on the way out, and then from Vermont
Yes.
we took the. Well, that would be us skipping a long way here.
Well, right, because from Colorado we then dashed to California, spent some time out there. That was really nice. We were like Santa Monica Beach area, and the weather was absolutely perfect. We
California's great for unschooling
Yeah,
and homeschooling too.
we
Like a lot
hopped
of
on.
museums.
Yeah, we did. Hopped on. Public transportation was really easy to go to a lot of these museums. I mean, the beach was right there. The weather was great. Like everything was just, people were nice. It was really chill. They would have there was like a really big, like, I guess you would say, like, wheeled community, because it wasn't just bikes. But like they would do like these nightly, not nightly, maybe weekly, like lit up bike rides along the boardwalk for like
Oh, I bet
miles.
that was pretty.
And so that was a lot of fun. Like, so yeah, we like bought Zoe like some light up things for her bike,
Yeah,
and
that's pretty cool.
we went and like skateboarded out there, and Zoe rode her bike, and we just got Peace strapped on to
Yep.
us as we're skateboarding.
Again, all before our
Yeah.
YouTube, so it's definitely good now to like get better at like documenting these
Right.
pockets in time.
Right. That's why we started it, because it was like we were doing so much, and it was just like, okay, we would love to like really look back on a lot of these things, because at this point, right, it's still 2023
Mhm.
in California. And then so the end of 2023, then we took a break also, and then we flew to New Jersey to go and hang out with Bay's mom,
Yeah, we were
because
with
she
my
wanted to
mom for about 3
remodel.
months.
Yeah,
2
she wanted
months.
to remodel her house, and so we're like, okay, we'll help you, demolish everything, take up your floors, take all your cabinets and
Yeah.
everything out,
Wow.
and get you started. Like we redid her floor, like we put down her flooring,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, we stayed there for like 3 months, and then we got grandma time.
Which is awesome. Shout out to mom for that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Definitely. Oh, I'm sure
seriously.
she was so grateful though. That's a lot of work. We've done some remodeling and it takes some time.
It's
I
a lot
I
of
think
work.
we were equally as grateful though, because talking about life on the road, that's I wouldn't say a challenge, but you know, to get that
I mean, you have
family
to talk
time,
about it.
and
Yeah,
for
that
us,
is one challenge. It's like, right, we
for us to get time where
with
hey,
our family,
just
right?
go ahead with them, because they're with us 24/7.
365.
So that's still good to like
Yeah.
for
Oh,
them to
you're going with
do.
grandma? Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy Target. Stay as long as you want.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
Yeah, because we're definitely still like in full like honeymoon stage. We just like, hey, let's go sneak out. Like, great, we got
Right.
grandma, perfect.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Right.
Well, and,
Seriously.
so
So,
let's talk about that a little bit more, the challenging side of things, because with all the glitz and glamour that can come along with being on the road and travel and seeing new sights and doing things, what there are some challenges there. And one of them, as you mentioned, is not seeing your family or being with them on a regular basis. So how do you guys plan for that? Or is it really you have a big picture view of the travel, and then inside that you schedule in time with the family? Or yeah, just
Yeah.
how does that look?
Well, honestly, lucky enough for us, so we all everybody has core family,
Mhm.
right? But then we have managed to have made family everywhere.
Mhm.
But then for us, for our core family, we do have like our fireworks that we do twice a year. So we'll have some core family around there. And Bay's a wizard at scheduling, so I don't. Maybe I should just let her take
Yeah,
the
oh,
lead
yeah.
because.
That's true,
I
because
mean,
Nikki, you kinda
right. I
look at
mean,
everything, right? You sorta schedule where you're going, you
yeah,
Yeah,
organize,
I
yeah.
was, I was just wondering where he was gonna
yeah,
go
because
with
I'm like,
that.
actually, you know what? Let me just actually, nah,
You're like, "I'm just gonna
I
see
try.
how it plays out. Let's just watch how
That
this
you
goes down."
did.
Oh man.
I mean, I think really it just comes down to, when because we're the family that is gonna try to support. Like that's the biggest thing to us is support, and like we want to support. So it's like if we're aware of like, okay, our nephew has a spelling bee in St. Louis, like if we can get there, we're gonna get there. Like if there's something important going on, yes, we will try to do like whatever we can do to like make it in our best interest to be there in support. Like we have a family reunion coming up next year, so we're gonna make sure that we figure out logistics of how to get over there for that. But other than that, it's just like if we're in the area, we'll stop by and see family or friends and stuff like that. If like, or if we're passing through, we're always gonna like reach out and be like, hey, we're gonna be passing through such and such. We probably don't always give like the best amount of like time beforehand to like for other
Mhm.
people to plan ahead, but like that's because I get,
Yeah,
things get erratic on the road sometimes too. Like,
right.
so it's just like, we got an oil leak and we have to spend this time, or
Mhm.
just things happen. And so I don't want to, it's normally like, okay, well, we're only an hour out, so I should tell them now and see if they got anything going on. And then if like they are available, even if it's like 4 days later or a week later, if they are really important, yeah, we'll just stay for longer, and so that we can see you guys, and then leave on out. But I think, right, like we've really just been like acquiring family members every state we go
That's
to,
great.
because it's like, oh, okay,
I was gonna
like,
say, you see, that's exactly what I
yeah,
was trying to
right.
say.
I know that's where you started. I brought it together for you, baby. um, but yeah, so that's really just how that's been going. And like you said, we have fireworks. So right now we're in Florida, and so that has kind of brought us back to the East Coast where like our actual like family is. And so we've spent some, and then when we went and remodeled, his mom's place, we saw a family because my family's right in New York. His family's in New Jersey as far as like biological
Mhm.
family goes. But yeah, our real family is our friends that have turned into family. And like I said, we've been just like, picking them up. Oh, okay. So this is our Alabama family. This is our Cali family. Like and then this year, 2024, we were blessed to go to Schoolie Palooza, which is an ungathering, if you will, because we're all like unschoolers, it's not, we don't want to call it a gathering,
Right.
so they called it like an ungathering.
I didn't even catch
But
that. Did they say that ungathering?
no, yeah,
Oh,
it's an
that's funny.
ungathering, yeah. So, but it's like thousands, and I don't think that's an exaggeration to say thousands, right?
I mean, maybe I don't.
I mean, at least I guess I could say hundreds. I
You
don't
could say
know.
hundreds.
Hundreds of people living alternatively rent free. So like they're living in their
It's definitely more than
cars,
500 though.
buses, RVs, tents, um overlanders, just box trucks, ambulances, fire trucks, like just someone built an RV that looks like a pirate ship, like just the most amazing type of homes you would never think, all vehicles pretty much. And so it was like the largest gathering of people who live in their vehicles,
You
or
met some pretty cool people
camping.
from that as well.
And so like that community, so now we have more of like a nomadic family as well, which has been pretty cool. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so where are you guys traveling to? Like, because before it was just kind of like on social media, and it's just like we see these family that's doing this, and this family's doing this, and like maybe our paths cross, but to actually be like, we camped in family camp, so it was pretty amazing. We're
Yeah.
out in the Arizona desert. Everyone's like in a big giant circle. We had like a one of us had a movie projector. They were projecting it on their van as like the TV screen. All the kids are just out there just learning all kinds of skills in nature. Some people are doing crystal wrapping classes. Some people are doing crochet and sewing classes. We're painting kids faces. We're all reading books, like or just hanging out, potluck dinners. Like it was
That
magical. Like
sounds
I was like,
amazing.
It's
if I
recommended.
knew this was existed, like oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah,
I
it's recommended
probably
for
would have ran
sure.
away in high
I know.
school.
Well, so how did you find out about that? Is that something that is a yearly event, or was this one of those that
Yeah,
organically came together? Okay, so it's a yearly thing.
yeah, it's an annual event. I came across it, I'm sure, on Instagram, and I think we would wanted to look like into it for the 2 years that we were on the road before. So probably like right, because we got on the road the end of 2020,
We had only
2021.
made
We didn't know about it, I
yeah.
don't think. But then like 2022 and 2023 we knew, but we couldn't like we didn't make it. Like whatever had happened, like we just, because it's the beginning of January or
Mhm.
the middle of January, and we were never on the West Coast at that time because we sell fireworks over here.
Oh,
And so
right. Okay.
this time around, right, when we had flew to New Jersey to see to help his mom remodel, we had stored the bus in California. So when we were done with fireworks for the season for that 4th of July, we flew back to California, got the bus, and drove straight to Arizona for
I
it.
don't know, it just made me dizzy even hearing
I
the things
know,
you
I
do
know.
about.
I'm
It
impressed.
sounds crazy.
It's like a flight
Yeah.
plan, like, wow. So much
Yeah.
keep it
She's going all over the place, man.
Yeah. How
I
about that?
love it.
So
I
do
absolutely
you have a
love it.
space in the bus that you have like a big whiteboard where it's all written out, or do you have a notebook? Like, how do you keep track of everything?
So if you can see how beat up my notebook is right now, but it's notebooks, it's
No.
Google
She has it
Docs.
everywhere.
I've got it.
She's addicted. No. I'll take over here. She's addicted to notes. That's one of her favorite
It makes me
pastimes.
so
It's just making a note. Like
And
she'll
does
have
she
a note
stick
on
them
a
everywhere? Are
napkin.
there yeah.
It do- it doesn't matter. It'll be on a sticky pad, a napkin. It could be on like a notepad, and then she has like multiple applications for it. Like it's just, she's addicted to
I got
notes.
my notes app, I got Google Docs, I got Asana. It's yeah.
The kids'
Yeah, for
T-shirts,
sure.
so are you pinning notes on them in school?
Exactly, you get it.
Whatever you need.
However it works.
I gotta write it down though, because otherwise it's lost forever.
No, yeah, I get that. Well, you
Yeah,
know what I just did, right? When we were first talking, I had to write that down, what we were talking about.
yeah.
Wait a minute,
Right, you
it's gonna
gotta write
leave. It's gonna
it
leave.
down.
Oh, so you're in
Exactly.
Florida now because the new year is when you do fireworks. Is that right?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. 4th of July and New
4th
Year's.
of July and New Year,
So we are
both
here.
times in Florida.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. For
For
now.
now. All right.
For now.
Is there a plan to change it?
Yeah.
Or you're
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a plan to
I'm just gonna
just
manifest it right here on the internet right now. Our YouTube is going to get monetized, and we are going to eventually make monthly what we do at fireworks, to where we no longer have to be in Florida for
there you
fireworks.
go.
Bomb,
There
it's
you
out
go. It's
there.
there.
Yep. So
That
that's
is
the
the
plan.
plan. Okay.
But until then, we're here in Florida,
Yeah.
right?
And then, okay,
Showing
so are you
fireworks.
going to try to do all 50 states? Now, I know you can't do all 50 states in the bus because you can't get to Hawaii on the bus.
Right.
But I mean, what is the plan? Do you want to
Well,
try?
right. This is true. So, we absolutely are. That's the goal is the 50 states. So we're going to do right this what do they call it? The lower
Okay.
48. We will probably cruise to Alaska, and then we will visit the sovereign nation of
Oh my
Hawaii that is
gosh.
not a United
She
States.
she just
You're like,
keeps
I'm
saying it.
standing firm
I
on this
can't wait
truth.
to get to Hawaii and people. Man, I can't wait to get to Hawaii and people be like, "Listen, we are state."
We will see. We will see
We will
because
see.
best believe I'm gonna be booking local cultural classes when we
Oh
get out
no,
there.
and you'll have to
So
We
share
will
it. You'll have
see.
to
so the
share it.
plan is right to fly.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah,
So we'll
but the
fly
plan
to
is definitely to see all 50 states and then all of the countries
all the
slowly but
countries.
surely. More.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan is to visit a country on every continent after that, so that way we can knock off all the continents and then continue on with all the countries.
Wow, that's such an amazing goal. And do you have like a deadline, or are you thinking like we need to do it by a certain date? Okay.
No.
No. I actually had a goal. I think I wrote it funny enough, probably in a note in my email or another doc. Back in I want to
She's
say
addicted.
I think I did this probably 2000, and I graduated college 2012. So I probably did this like 2011.
Okay.
And I wrote down I want to visit all 50 states by the age of 26. That has been long past. 26 is a lifetime ago. It's just a goal, right? It's just, it's going to be achieved. It's just, yeah, there's no deadline, cuz that's another thing is like we're kind of going to have to do these 28 states all over again once the future baby that we're going to
I mean,
be.
I have no problem like zipping through and just,
Yeah.
but
Or coming back and visiting, but
Mm-hmm.
right, we have signed ourselves up for a life of travel. We don't believe that humans are supposed to just be in one place for their entire life, and so I
till the
mean,
bug goes away.
right, I feel like being a nomad has always, probably subconsciously but
And
also consciously for
Christ,
sure,
both of
since
us.
college, or right after college, that
Yeah.
that's what
Well,
I'm
I mean, I
thinking.
think the fact that you had a goal and wrote it down all those years ago is a very important point to highlight because it sets the stage. Even if you can't do it exactly like you said you wanted to do it, it's still the intention is
Right.
there. And so in your mind,
Yep.
you've made that plan. And yeah, we can't really look in a crystal ball and say it's going to happen exactly in this order and in this timeline, but the big picture part is happening and it's unfolding, now. And
Yep.
I don't think probably in that plan you said you'd have 2 babies by then either, right? Like so it forced
No,
you to
I
allow.
did have married and
Uh-huh.
kids, but right. So I did know that there would be multiples, and I knew that there
I
would be
know there
love.
wasn't birth on the bus for
There
sure.
was
No.
not birth on the bus for sure.
But that's the beauty of it all. It's like allowing life to unfold too without trying to control everything
Right.
and
For
seeing
sure.
Mhm.
what can arise when you kind of give yourself space and time to see what unfolds. But um
Right.
I agree. I think that's life. Just a little loose plan and then just allow the wiggle room. I like that.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, I, over the years have certainly learned to let go of things because before having kids, there was a little type A personality Missy in there. And
Hmm.
and she struggled sometimes when things didn't quite go in the order that they went. So I, admit that having my first child knocked that right on out of me. um,
Yes, that's so funny. My best friend is exactly that.
really?
And I'm just like, it's funny because I feel like that's why I'm probably so obsessed with like the notes and organization. I feel like I'm striving to be like more type A, but I'm way too
Mm.
balanced. Actually, I'm not balanced whatsoever. I'm way too
And what you
type
trying to say you
B.
are? What you trying to say? You're pretty balanced.
Yeah.
Mhm. But there's something to be said about that need to write it down, and maybe that's what it is for you. It's like it's one thing to hold it in your head, it's another to put it to paper because it literally goes from one realm, if you will, to another. And it's like it
Yep.
adds more power or something to it. Um, yeah,
Yep.
and the whole like being flexible as we've all talked about with unschooling and homeschooling, it originally, I feel like I was a certain way with my children, which led me to unschooling. And I know a lot of people find unschooling first and then it impacts how they parent. So did you, how has homeschooling impacted the way you sort of see being a parent and or life?
Mm.
Ooh, that is a great
This is a
question.
great question.
I like that. I just want to ponder for a
Yeah,
second.
ponder.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. How has homeschooling impacted, right, how you parent? I mean, so it's definitely because, I was a teacher
Mm-hmm.
for almost a decade, and that I was a teacher for about, what, like at least 4 years, not a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last 3 years, I was a parent. And so definitely teaching impacted that, but I knew, right, like once I got to homeschooling, it was like I'm not trying to recreate the classroom. So I have to really kind of check a lot of my beliefs and you know what I think quote unquote should be going
Mm-hmm.
on. And that is the same thing with like parenting. Like, we kind of get fed a lot of information, or we're taking things from our parents, or just like what we didn't want to do or how we want to do differently than our parents. And you develop now your own preconceived notions of what you think parenting is going to be like, or parenting will be like. And I think just as life and homeschooling and everything, because it's all connected, right,
Mm-hmm.
will teach you is that it's all about just being flexible. And if you thought something was going to happen, that's we're going to test that,
Yes.
because you have to be it's really just like well-roundedness. It's like it's
Yeah.
always a reminder that there's always something else to be learned. And you have to have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
patience, a lot of grace, and just I think one thing I tell Zoe sometimes when she's, I feel like stepping over Peace's boundaries, because Peace doesn't have the language because she's a toddler
Right.
just yet, but
I mean, she's
is that
got it. She's
she is
getting it.
a person too. Oh yeah, no, she talks all day.
She's
But I'm
getting
just
it.
saying,
Yeah,
like,
I'm with
for
you. With
like boundary
yeah, no, for
conversations, yeah.
sure.
I mean, she does have it some of it,
Yeah.
but like Zoe doesn't listen all the time. And so just even like crap, did I just forget where I was going with that because of that? Just oh, sometimes my brain. Crap.
We can take a minute.
Oh, I was saying that I'll tell Zoe that Peace is a person too.
Yeah.
Like, she is a human being. Like, Prince says it to her all the time. Like, you're your own person. And so going at parenting with that at the forefront, right? It's just like you kind of have to remember, like, no matter if I want you to always clean up because I've said it over and over again that I don't like it when your bed looks like this. Or, I just want you to close the drawers all the way. Just close the drawers all the way. Just like don't leave them halfway open, just close them all the way. I've given you this reminder all the time. No matter how badly I want this to be natural for her, it's not,
Mm-hmm.
and I can hope that it's gonna eventually be natural, but
Hmm.
like also it might not be,
Mm-hmm.
And
and
that's
so I
okay.
think that's another lesson too of just like letting go. And I think that's been one thing that I feel like I've always had a problem with letting go. And so
Yeah.
I've gotten way better, but
Well, it's
yeah,
kind of
just
like with the kids when they lock into something, they can't see another way out of it because they're just so monofocused. And then we as parents can do the exact same thing,
right.
even though we get
Yep.
frustrated with them locking in, and
Yeah.
then if we flip it around, it's like, wait a minute, I think I'm doing the same thing, and
Right.
even still now after all these years, I wish I could tell you that it's going to just magically disappear. And maybe I shouldn't speak for everyone, but I'm just saying, as I've been doing this for a while, and my kids, it's like I don't even like to call them kids now because they're young adults. They're adults,
Oh,
I
don't
Oh,
mean,
say that.
I've got.
that's
I
beautiful
know it's
though.
so true,
No, it's
but
beautiful. It's beautiful. That's
there's
the goal.
sometimes.
That was
So
the
what
goal.
do you say, my children? What do you
I know it is.
my
It's weird.
pretties?
My beautiful babies. I know it's so hard because there have been multiple times when I've gone to write things and I'm like, that feels weird to me to say kids, like my
Yeah.
children, like they're not. I don't know. We've got to come up with a new word, guys. Like, let's think about it.
Right.
Mm.
Because I, what
The
I was saying
adults I
though,
birthed.
right, right.
Sounds weird.
That sounds
Honestly,
even
I'm I'm
creepier.
I'm I'm a little shocked.
The humans I birthed that are now adults.
I'm honestly a little shocked that you two feel that way. Like, I felt like kids will always be fine, so it's
Right.
interesting
I
to
mean,
hear.
that's how I do feel, though. That's why I'm like, don't say that because it's like crazy. But I feel like what she's saying in the writing part of it, I get that because it's like
Right.
if someone's like reading your writing, like, right, you want to be like, okay, well, wait,
My kids who are now such and such,
right.
such and
My
such.
kids are now, yeah,
Uh-huh.
because they're
Now
always
you
your
got to
kids.
add something to it.
Yeah, just like
Yeah,
a
because
little
it's like a
note.
different level, It's like
Yeah.
I'm not talking about them as children. I'm talking about the trajectory of their life and
Right.
where they are now. So yeah, no, it's an interesting space, and maybe that's just my problem that I've created. But what I was talking about in terms of allowing things to be and sort of seeing them a certain way, there are times when I have still catch myself thinking, well, that should have happened this way because blah, 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 blah. And then I go, wait a minute, where did that come from? And why am I being bothered by that now? And,
Hmm.
of course, over time, I've had a lot of practice to be able to pause and think and reframe and also check in with myself. Like, what do I need right now? Maybe I'm
Hmm.
tired. Maybe I'm just irritated and I
Yeah.
need to go get some fresh air and I need to quit trying to project my feelings about things on other people. So,
Correct.
I can imagine, I mean, it's just a practice, something you work on. But
Yeah.
I remember what it was like when it was fast and furious and the babies were busy, busy, busy. So I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
it.
Just one day at a time, man.
Yeah.
Just one day at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is though too. Uh, just, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to use the word easier, but I guess slightly easier. I guess it's just a different experience. If we had like two small children right now, I feel like it would be a completely different dynamic. Which I mean, it is about to be a completely different dynamic. But the fact that like Zoe is she's so big now. I can't
I
even handle
know.
it. But that she's almost into double digits and us having a toddler, I
Mm-hmm.
think it definitely helps with like calming kind of the chaos because one, I do feel like Peace is growing up way too fast also because she's trying to be like her big sister and her dad and her
Yeah.
mom. And so it's just like, she's very independent. So it is kind of like she's blowing through this like, little baby stage. But I think,
I'm not
yeah,
mad at it.
he never is. And
I'm
I'm
not
like,
mad at it. I'm just ready to play more chess. Like lately, she wakes up and she says, "Dad, chess." Dad. I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Like I'm just,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's just continuing teaching these because that and Zoe can play now, but I'm such more of a parent that wants to do the things. Like this is why
mm-hmm.
it is important for me to spend these quality hours with you because I kind of know how I want like the family dynamic to be. Like I know we're nerds. I grew up around nerds. My mom's a nerd. My brother's a nerd. I was raised by nerds. So
and then you married one.
yeah, and that was very important to me, right? To make sure I marry a nerd because even like the game we were playing last night, like
Right. Like right now, actually, parenting is just a lot of fun because it's like that's all these
Mm.
kids want to do is have fun, and so like we're like, oh, we know fun, and so
yeah,
we're like, yeah, so it's like catering to right the things that we do enjoy. Like it's fun, like you said, like playing chess. Like he's always doing these chess puzzles with the girls, and like we'll play board games now, and just like doing a lot of puzzles. We just finished like a 300-piece puzzle. It took us like 2 days and did that, me and
Mm-hmm.
Zoe, and she's been crocheting and sewing, and that's been fun watching her do that.
well,
Like,
even the other board game is
oh, Payday. Payday was, oh
that
my
is awesome. You
gosh.
got to make investments, and
And
Zoe beats us in it, and it's
yeah, you have to
awesome.
be like a little entrepreneur and just like and just seeing her excitement when she went, like she beat us, and she's like, it's just it's pure joy, and it's just
Yeah,
like it really does take you to the moments when like maybe you beat your mom the first time in like a card game or whatever, like because like
Yeah.
both of us are very competitive and like so we got that competitive spirit, and so like just to see her like yeah like, ooh booyah or whatever, it's just
Right,
so
right.
cute. It's literally, I just
Mm-hmm.
wish I could bottle it up. Like we go skateboarding, she's roller skating, Pieces riding her little balance bike. Like it's just this is a lot of fun. Like this phase,
yeah,
like right, like you said, this phase setting up the family dynamic of being little dorky,
yeah. It's
nerdy
just a lot of fun.
explorers.
Yeah, it's just a lot of
Well,
fun.
I'm gonna have to go back to Davon and ask him to define a nerd, please. Like, what's
For
your
me,
definition of a nerd?
just someone who values intellect deeply in their own way. I think there's different
Yeah.
forms of intellect, but I think there's some people who I often say there's only 14 people in the world, right? Like give or take a few either way. So, you've pretty much met everybody in different forms, right? So
Oh
like
my gosh, you are speaking my language so much right now.
yeah, so
I
right
have
like
so much wanted to do that and break it down and be like, there's a certain type of people, and oh my
yeah,
gosh, okay, okay,
yep, yep.
keep going, sorry.
It's yeah, no, no, no. I'm thank you for piggybacking because I've been saying this for years because I truly feel as though like what you're going to identify with. There are no new ideas. There are no
Right.
original ideas. So you as a
Gosh,
person
yeah.
have to sit and pick what you're going to identify with because it's very
Mhm.
important. And some people I don't know if dits want to identify as a dits because they're dits, so I don't know. But like there are some people that move right, but there's some people that move about life maybe not as
A little more
yeah,
lackadaisical.
and then there's some people who
Yeah.
are more athletic, or there's some people who are more. But for me, a nerd is somebody who really values intellect in a field or various fields, no matter what that is.
And constant
Mhm.
learning. Like I just feel like that's important to note too. It's just like that learning never stops, or like that you just don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like you crave
Wanting
that
to
new.
acquire knowledge. Yeah,
A
Yes.
like
Yeah, yeah,
lifelong
yeah.
learner is the
yeah,
nerd.
Right.
A
right. That
lifelong learner.
that's
That's
our
how that's a nerd.
shout out to our old IG name.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what
I think I'm gonna. Oh, that's right. That was your original IG
yeah,
Yep.
name.
yeah. That's what I define as a nerd, a lifelong learner.
Yep.
Okay, well, that might be my new article title. Are you a nerd?
Awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, that's so true though. I know exactly what you're saying, how when you're loving something and enjoying it, and then now you can share it with your kids at a level that's deeper than just the
Mm.
playing and moving the pieces around. So no, I
Hmm. I'm
totally
training
understand
you
that.
to beat me. I'm training you to beat
Mhm.
me.
But
Yeah.
also not going easy
Yeah,
on you
yeah.
at all. I'm gonna whoop your butt tonight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We will teach good sportsmanship and trash talking at the same time
Yes.
because we're about balance.
You gotta have some of each. I really do think you
That's
Yes.
have to
right.
have some of
That's right. That's right.
each.
Makes for good entertainment.
It really does. Well, and there's something too about the first time the kids actually beat you in a fair game.
That's right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
Agreed.
that's
seriously.
powerful stuff, and I will never forget, when my son and I played, Mario Kart, and we drove
Oh,
those
okay.
carts on the video games, and then he would just beat me handedly because I was so terrible, and that sense of him being like, "Oh my gosh, I just beat you," or any of the board games we played, and it's true. There's something about that for them. There's like it's almost like they level up in a way that you didn't know was possible and they didn't know was possible. It's kind of like, okay, I've got this.
Because
That's great.
it makes them say, "Oh, let me beat you again. Let's play again, mom."
Mhm, mhm. Let's try it
That's
again. I
awesome.
know, I know. Well, I saw your post too about when you were talking about peace earlier, and I don't even we didn't really clarify. So peace is 2,
she's almost
Two,
2.5 now.
almost two and a
yeah,
half.
and then Zoe is almost 10.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's 9.5.
Okay, okay, so she's 9.5. Yeah,
I can't
so
hear almost 10 yet. I
I
can't. I'm
know, I
sorry.
know. Yeah,
Whew.
that's a big change. There's something about
Yes.
them that shifts. It's like it's kind of stark. Um, but what was I going to ask you? I thought about their
Post about peace.
ages. Oh yes, thank you. So the one about her with the chores, when you were saying earlier about her growing up and wanting to do what you all do, I think an oftentimes overlooked element of family being together the way we get to be as homeschoolers, um, the younger kids really do strive to participate in the family life and to do
Mm-hmm.
real active chores
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
without being assigned or told or punished
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. It's like they want to do what you're doing because it's
Mm.
natural for children to want to follow the parents. And
Agreed.
Right.
so I just find that what that clip was such a great example of the natural progression of development in children. And sometimes people, and it's hard. I mean, let's face it. As a parent, you've got stuff to do. You've got a checklist of things to get done. You have chores, and then you want to get to the next thing. And when the little 2-year-old is like, "I will help you fold the towels," it's not very well done.
AKA unfold and throw immediately when I'm done, quote unquote, folding.
Right, right, right. And so, trying to find that balance. So how do you guys work with that? I mean, obviously there
I,
are times when you have to be like, we've got to get this finished and move on. So, and I think that's true for everybody, whether you're traveling or not. But, how do you guys sort of address it?
I
I
think
think
we've kind of checkmated it though, because the way we've like set up our lifestyle is just like, we got time.
Yeah.
yeah, we often have time, and if we have to, I think the checkmate will be that you're participating in everything all day. So if
Mhm.
this one thing that I have to take away from you is like, okay, well, we actually have a podcast to get to, so let me focus, right? But
Right.
I did let you cook breakfast with me today. I did let you play chess with me today. I
Yes.
did let you do this, right? So like, I
And
feel
you'll
like
get this opportunity again
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
right? So
Yeah.
for us, it's like I don't have to feel bad. And then on
It's
the other hand of that, it's also always going to be creativity, right? Like, all right, here, take this one towel, hold that while I can hurry up and get done 6 other ones. You
right.
can watch me fold these 6 other ones, so you can continue learning while you fumble
Yeah.
with that one. And
The art of
yeah,
distraction. Or like, so Pieces on this which we absolutely love, never gonna say no, but it does take up a lot of time. And
what's
so
that?
she's got her basket of books, and
Oh,
she will want to read the entire basket of books.
no
And
problem,
then
Mhm.
she wants dad to read the entire basket of books.
no problem. But
But
sometimes,
sometimes that basket ends up with only 4 books in it, and I don't know where the other ones went, but we can read that whole basket of books, baby. Of course, okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's all about, right, like you said, getting
creativity, yeah,
creative, and also taking the time. If we can't spend the time with allowing you to do it, we're gonna spend the time having the conversation as to why. Like, it's not just a blanket, we just can't let you do it right now. We're gonna spend the time having the conversation and communicate as to why. And then
that's
like in
super
these
important. By the way,
instances,
that's super
right, I
important.
think that's the biggest thing too, is
Mhm.
just like to really like let you know, because when they come to an understanding, we're all just, we understand, and that's great. We can move on with about our
Yeah.
day.
Right. Well, and it teaches them that there can be a reason that's logical, and that impacts other people. I mean, we all know that children grow through phases of being just completely super egotistical, and it's all about them, and their little world is very small. And
Right.
Hmm.
when you have those conversations, it opens them up and opens them up more and opens them up more. So, of course, they're not going to get it all at once and the
Right.
first time around, but it's just like a marinating
It keeps downloading,
understanding.
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
And
Until
great.
you
That's
get to
such a
like
great way to look
upload
at it.
complete, and then yeah, and I think, right, that's
the beauty of
the beauty
homeschooling is
of,
that you
right,
can always
homeschooling.
do it tomorrow, and you get so much quality time, and their eyeballs are
Mm.
always on you.
Yeah.
So like every night I get to, I think another part to your question you asked a while ago about like what has unschooling taught you is that, like, but in the parenting is that, like, I've applied just a lot of my own life philosophies just to that, like parenting and unschooling. Is like, at the end of the day, reevaluate, like, where did I slack? Like,
What could
where
we
do
have
I,
done
yeah,
better?
what could I have done better?
What did
What
we crush
was it?
today?
Yeah, what did we absolutely crush? And we'll sit there and like have that conversation together separately, and then go try again tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
and we
Mhm.
try to, give accolades, and like even Zoe will do it sometimes. I mean, we don't do it every single day, but sometimes when we're on it, I think it was
family
yesterday.
member of the
Yeah, like
week,
family
yeah,
member of the day, family member of the week, like
yeah,
who, was the family
yeah.
member because they did what, like what were the reasons for it, and we'll just like shout them out, and just like, but yeah, it's a constant reflection on like, okay, what, we'll do our high low buffaloes at the end, like what was the high for the day for you, what was your low for the day, and what was your unexpected, like what unexpectedly happened, and just like constantly kind of keeping that like framework in the forefront. And yeah, I mean, it definitely shows, because yeah, just the kids are right. They come to an understanding more so often than not with us, and I think that's important too. Like you said, like to hear that logic. I think the family dynamic also helps being together all the time because men are way more logical, women are more emotional, and so like they
Mm-hmm.
get both balances of like of it, like we all do, like because I learn a lot from Prince throughout the day, as he learns a lot from me throughout the day,
Yeah.
as we learn a lot from the children, and like so, and it's just yeah, it's an interesting dynamic too of like Zoe being 9 and like having more of a voice and just like feeling more confident in expressing herself, and like Peace being 2 and like really everything's exploding for her, like the vocabulary, like all of it. So to just even be in that crazy spectrum of communication and to like where we want to get them to so that we have to constantly model it, it's just all everything's just learning.
Yeah,
Everything is
that's
just
right.
learning,
Mm-hmm.
living, and
Being a nerd.
evolving and growing,
That's
right?
right.
It all comes back to being a nerd.
Be a nerd, guys. It's cool.
That's right. We're gonna make that hashtag cool again.
Right.
Well, you said something too about the family, the parents and the mom and dad and doing things differently. And I just sort of had a little like daydream of the future of our society and how so many people are choosing this way of living,
Mm,
and it continues to grow. And I just can't help but to wonder if it's, we are, I see society as a pendulum swing always. So whether it's
Yeah.
political or social or just economic, whatever it is, there's
agreed.
always a pendulum swing. And I feel like we
Agreed.
will eventually get back to a balance. And so for many, many years, all of our modern technology and our advancements in our society and our rapid growth has pushed us to this belief that we have to have more and we have to have more. And what happens when we seek for more money and more fame and more whatever, we have less of our like connections and our foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I see this move towards unschooling and homeschooling and being more together as a family, as children getting more of their dads, and
Yeah, that's
getting more
key,
of
Yeah.
their
man. That really
family.
is key.
And I
Yeah, it's
find that
beautiful.
it is beautiful, and it's
It's
so yeah, just
needed,
I
it's beautiful. Yeah, it's all it's everything. That
yeah,
needs to really swing back.
Yeah,
it
because I think
does.
and just hopefully like it's actually a loving home, because I think that is
Mhm.
the checkmate for me, is that
Yes.
we need the overall
Loving
texture
teamwork
of the world to
dynamic
be
and
loved. Yeah, we just gotta
Mhm.
spread love.
a dynamic of teamwork, partnership, community that helps each other,
Yeah,
Right. Right.
supportive.
it's not
Yeah.
enough to just be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, 'cause I mean, yeah, just checking the box of I'm physically present, but I'm like, are you mentally present? Are you emotionally present?
Right.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
It
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
That's huge.
powerful. So, it will be really neat. I mean, I know we talked about this a while back. I think I know I interviewed somebody on the podcast that was a children's book author, and, and I know, Nikki, you were like, "Oh my gosh, I need to do this." And I'm like, "You need to write a book. You really do. A children's book
Yes,
about your
yes.
story."
It's
Seriously.
all going to come, Missy. It's all going to
That's right.
come.
You put it on a sticky note.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's probably
Oh,
at least
she threw away a couple books on a couple napkins.
8 notes. I probably have 8 note documents right now with like I'm talking chapters, possible titles. I got yeah, it's
Yeah,
all gonna come.
it is gonna come. That's for sure. Oh, wow. It'll be so great to hear it too from like, from Zoe's perspective, as, because she's been doing this now for what, 4 years? 5 years?
Yeah, she's a pro. 4
4
years.
Mhm.
years, yeah.
Yeah, four
Yeah.
years.
How
She
about
is a
that?
pro. It's
That's
awesome. And right,
great.
she's about to be even more of a pro because I think one of your notes was right, what's up next? And obviously we're gonna be doing fireworks in the next few weeks, and
Yep.
then we are going back to Georgia to gut the bus and rebuild it
Dun
Really?
dun
again.
Oh my
dun.
gosh. So was this
Yeah,
something that you
we're
have
doing
already
it
kinda
again.
laid out, or it was like
I'm
Yes.
in the midst of drawing lots and lots of things on lots and lots of pieces of paper.
So we know,
yeah.
just like as far as like the planning for peace, we kind of know, wink wink, when we're planning for next, then we gotta get that ready already ahead of time. And
so that I'm not
then
8 months pregnant and telling him to gut the bus, which we did,
right,
last time.
right.
So.
And then also, just we after 4 years, you just kind of know like what you want,
Yeah.
right? Like when I'm in the middle of the desert and we're boondocking for 2 weeks, okay, I know I need more of a children's museum vibe in the back for the kids. So this space could be utilized this way. And again, Nikki's always
Or that we need a larger water tank, or
right.
or like maybe the layout of the kitchen we thought was going to be absolutely great, but really we need more storage because we are trying to be off grid more. So it's just we've really honed in totally on our pain points, and we're about to make this build the best ever for our needs, because it's like I imagine it would be like for anybody who buys a home too. It's like you don't know everything that you are gonna need to fix until you've lived in it for a while.
That's
And
true.
we've lived in it
Absolutely.
for
Yep.
now 3 years, and we've driven it all over the place, and so we know like what works, what doesn't, and what is most important to us inside the home. Because that's another thing, is like we're very much no, what is it? Extroverted introverts. So like
ambivert.
Ambiverts, right? I'm sorry,
Amber,
I always
I
get it
know
right.
that. I love that. That's what I am.
Yes. So as much as we love being outside and exploring and traveling and doing that, like we also really love to be home. And like there are days where it is a rainy day, or we're out in the middle of the desert, and maybe there's not a bunch of kids to play with, or things to do. We're just kind of out here relaxing, not spending any money because we're in the middle of the desert. And so
Yeah.
we want to cater the build to exactly what is important to us
And
in
we
life
say
right
all,
now.
and we say,
Parenting,
all
homeschooling.
this, but this is like the 5th, 6th rebuild. So we'd say just for the
Right,
moment,
that too.
because we are crazy, and who
No,
knows
this is
what
gonna be it.
we say that. But again, again,
We're
you got
doing
to
it right this time.
what did we say? We make plans with some wiggle room because you never know.
Right,
So
right.
you know.
Everything
right.
is built in a way that we can take it apart just in case.
I can only imagine what you probably have been looking at online and stuff. There are a million different images and ideas and ways you could go with it. But you're right. It's so important to live in something for a while and really understand what your needs are day in and day out, and kind of see that bigger vision. So that will be quite big. So that is going to happen. You're finishing out, and then you're going to Georgia at the new year, and then you'll start the process then, you think?
Yeah, January. We'll probably spend like a month.
60 days maybe.
Yeah, maybe a
Okay.
month or two doing that. And then
Maybe,
because when we get one thing, I guess this is our ADHD, is we get honed in on an idea and we just don't sleep until it's done. So we're like, all right, pulling an all nighter.
yeah.
And unfortunately we
There'll be
haven't
a
like
lot of work
learned our
done.
lesson. And I mean, we have kind of, because sometimes we'll just be like, okay, it's 2 a.m. Like we have to parent in the morning. Like, let's go to bed.
Yeah.
But we
Right.
got this, and we'll do a better job documenting this time. And
That's
it'll
what
be
I was going to
awesome.
say. Please document beginning to end.
For
That would be
sure.
so
Oh,
fun to
for sure.
watch.
absolutely.
No, for sure. We'll do. We're planning
Everyone
some
will watch
ideas
us,
for that.
demolish it and rebuild this up to be the bus of our dreams currently.
I will be watching. That's so
Good job.
satisfying.
Good job.
The bus of our current dreams.
Correct. That's the title.
There you go.
That's really good. All right. Well, tell everybody where they can find you. We mentioned your YouTube channel, but say it again if you don't mind, just so we get it
So
accurate.
you guys can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at our handle Prince, PRINCE, Family Travel.
Right.
Travel is
and
singular.
also on Instagram.
And TikTok.
Yeah, Instagram.
But I need
and
to do a
TikTok.
better job of being active there, if I'm being honest. But we'll do.
Yes, you'll get
I got
there.
you guys, TikTok.
You'll get there.
I got you, TikTok.
Oh gosh. Well, thank y'all so much for
Thank
doing
you.
this again. And it's
thank you.
It's so amazing to have watched your journey and to meet you this summer. That was so much fun.
Yes. Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so
Did
glad
you
we got
watch
to do that.
our the episode?
I did. I was just cracking up because I'm like, ew, that's me. Oh my god.
Aw. No,
I'm
that's
so
great.
I'm actually finally gotten over that. I'm just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
What do we say? There's only 14. There's so many more of me out there. It's okay.
That's right. That's right. Oh my god. And it was so hot. My gosh. We were just
Oh
like
my
all
gosh.
sweating it out.
Scorching that day.
Ooh, but I do want to make a note.
Oh,
I do want to make
Yes,
a note if
yes.
we haven't told you already.
Yeah. What's that?
Those peaches from that farmer market, they
the best
listen,
peaches I've ever tasted in my entire life.
chef's kiss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Those were so good.
Or gardener's kiss. I should
Yes, I know.
Gardener's kiss, right?
I can still see
Gardener's
piece.
touch.
Gardener's clit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. I can still see her eating one with her little juicy hands, and it's all over her face.
Oh my gosh!
They were
Seriously, I
delicious.
wish I could go back to that moment. It was so good. But yes, I was gonna
Mhm.
make a quick note too about how, like you said, learning on YouTube is like that has definitely been one thing for sure. Is like Bus Life and YouTube, just like the self consciousness is just there's none of that. Is that
Yeah.
the right word I'm using? Right. It's just
Yeah.
like
Just let it
You just
flow.
kind of get
it's
over it.
I'm
Yep.
me, okay?
Yeah.
You're gonna love
I
me
know.
or you're
Because
not.
I want to look back and see me in my raw form, so why
That's
be
right.
shy about it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
So when do we do our next? Oh, also too, are we still the only couple on the podcast?
Right. Did you get another couple?
We had another couple, and they
Yeah,
are the ones
okay.
who did the y'all were my first, and
All
I did a
right.
couple. And they're Caster Studios, so they actually make videos and movies and TV shows for kids.
Oh,
And they're a
beautiful.
family.
Can you say that again?
It's Caster Studios, and they're out of Texas. And
Awesome. So we're gonna check that
Yeah,
out.
we have to listen to that episode.
Yeah.
I'm glad
They're very
I asked.
sweet.
I'm glad I asked.
Very sweet. Yeah, they do a show called Gus Plus. Wait. Gus Plus Us, I think it's called.
Gus Plus Us.
Oh, that's a nice
Yeah,
word.
I
I love that. Gus Plus
It's
Us.
really
Shout out to
and
that.
it's handmade, and the scenery's all handmade, so it's quite a production, and it's really fabulous.
Wow.
Yeah,
beautiful.
That is super cool.
And he writes. So yeah, check him out. So and also check out Davone and Nikki's first episode, which I believe was episode 19, and it was entitled "Lead with Love." So
yes,
those
that was
listening,
our
go
episode.
back to
Lead
the
with
original
Love.
and watch.
And this episode can be called "Notes on Napkins."
There you go. By nerds.
By nerds.
By
Exactly.
nerds. Notes on Napkins by nerds.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just love y'all.
So I guess our next podcast will be wrapping up the states. Maybe, who knows? I don't know.
I know you'll be on the island of Hawaii. How about that?
Yes.
There you go.
And I will let you guys know if they decide.
Yeah. Live from Hawaii.
Oh gosh, y'all take care of each other.
You as
I
well.
know you are. I'm so glad to
We
talk to
love
you.
you so much.
Love you.
Give the family love, hugs, and kisses.
Later.
I sure will.
Later.
Bye. Thank you for listening. To learn more about guests on the podcast and to stay up to date on how they are showing up to make the world a better place for children and families, please check the show notes. To become a part of the great educational awakening and to keep up with my latest writings, offerings, and workshops, be sure you're signed up for my Substack newsletter. You can also follow along on social media at Let 'em Go Barefoot. That's LETEMGO Barefoot. If you are new to homeschooling, new to unschooling, or are simply unschooling curious but not sure where to start, we now have a beautiful 43-page downloadable guide that walks you through the how and why of self-directed education and child-led learning, as well as responses to common questions and concerns around academics, motivation, college, community, and more. You can find a link to purchase your copy in the show notes. Thank you so much for your support. As always, stay curious, stay connected, and stay aware. Until next time.